So the important question is that what was the most exciting moment for you on the process of the project? I know there are lots of countries, there are lots of not continents,
Mhm.
but it is going to be lots of continents, we can say. And what was the most exciting moment? Maybe it can be a little bit hard to choose one of them.
I'd say for me, every time we got a follower, that was an exciting moment. First going, um, it was a journey with Instagram. As I said, like I was not using social media as an active content creator before. And then we saw like, oh yeah, there's someone following us. And of course we knew this was someone we knew. But then people started joining in and were like going back and saying like, this is an amazing project. And then we got this massive feedback from Turkey. This was like, wow, I didn't expect the reach to be so large. So I know about a little bit about like how it is when you do a news article and when you post something like there, you get feedback. Does it reach people? But with the social media, you could really see like, oh, it's reaching people, and the numbers are way different from what we're used to. If I'm giving a lecture, there might be 20 people. If it's a big lecture, there might be 100 people, and suddenly we are reaching almost 5,000 people. That's so different numbers.
Yes. How can I say? It is just how can I say? It has just grown, how can I say, sparkly, we can say, or suddenly. Um
Yes.
the Meteor Tutor, Professor Dr. Meteor Tutor and Dr. Yusuf Karla just announced that yes, to counter is wanted to just counter to Turkey. And then there's a just how can I say 5,000 people. There's just a sudden peak, we can say, and it was
Yes.
amazing. It was amazing process. I was just following every step of that, as I said before.
It was an amazing process, and it was completely a new experience for me to see that this such thing can happen.
Yes. Yes, I think
And
so.
of course, I can also say like having the support from someone who's as established as Mete Atatürk to like support us the project also means a lot to us. And also Dr. Yusuf Kali is like the people who are so established say like, oh, this is a great project. It's as well.
It was amazing too. This is for my. Now the question is that from the Leismeyer Medal and Prize, what was your reaction when you first learned that you won the Leismeyer Medal and Prize from the Institute of the Physics? How was it? How did you feel?
That was I remember that, you know, I opened an email. It's like, wow, it's like I was very happy, but also it feels like an accomplishment when you feel like, yes, we got accomplished a lot, but it's also recognized by a very established institution. That
Mhm.
felt very gratifying to me. I really like that it's not only like it's accepted from young people, I think from the Instagram community. Yes, that was going there, but it was also accepted within the physics community, and this was a very happy feeling to me.
I think a little bit emotional day too, because you were trying so hard. You were, how can I say, endeavoring so much to accomplish something.
Yeah.
The process is really challenging and really long. And then you learned that, yes, some kind of institutes recognize your endeavoring. And this
Yes.
was kind of really, how can I say, imaginative day.
Yeah, I mean it's really because you worked hard and then you get a gratification for that. You get like an acknowledgement and you're like, wow, this feels I've done the right thing.
Wow. Congratulations again. I wanted to say the thing.
Thank you so much.
This is kind of a really emotional day for me because when I see it on the first time at the Instagram account of you, you get shocked as the whole project team. And I know you, I know the process of the concert project, not starting, but from the meet, we can say. I was following that and I know you're endeavoring. I know your how can I say, enthusiasm about these projects on the way of the projects. And then it was kind of a really meaningful day for you, for me, and for the other persons like me.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm happy, and it's really nice to share these emotions. That I really like. It really means a lot if people say like, "Look, we did that, and we're happy for you, and we want to contribute more," and it made a difference to us. All of these comments are very much appreciated.
I think the science is the thing like that. You are, how can I say, the science is a really challenging era. especially on these days. I believe like that. To make a science is really challenging. And if you are trying to do something, trying to accomplish something, or trying to find something, trying to comprehend something about the universal systems or some other things, it is really valuable. It is really meaningful for the scientists, for the
Mhm.
people that they're interested into the science. And you gain something, you accomplish something about this era, and it is very meaningful.
And I think it's also meaningful to tell that to the world, like something to share not only the feeling of like, oh yeah, we're doing research, we accomplished something in research, but also share like what we do. There's a lot, so much going on in science and quantum physics. There are accomplishments every day by all the scientists all around the world. I feel the world doesn't know enough about that. So always happy to share a little bit of a sneak peek of what we're doing.
I am supporting your ideas, and I think there's some kind of a, how can I say, text for the Leismeyer Medal of Prize. They're saying that for innovative public engagement across the UK and Europe through the Quantum Project, featuring a traveling light source and offering the insights into the work of the physicists. This is the best phrase that they're explaining our Quantum Project. We can say that.
That's totally true.
When I first see it onto the website offering the insights into the work of the physicists, I did understand, yes, physicists are doing so much the things, and maybe some kind of a people don't see it sometimes. How can I say, the Contra project is one of the chance to visualize that kind of a challenges.
Yes. And it's not always like we do one thing, but we do so many things. And this is why the Quantum Project was really showing off so many facets of a physicist's life. Not only doing the lab, but also doing the traveling, giving talks, for example. When someone goes from one place to the other, they often gave a presentation on their work, having the discussions, but also having the coffee together. There are lots of things we do as physicists. It's a very versatile job.
Yes, this is kind of really meaningful. We have 1 minute, so I can
Mhm.
start the other meeting too. Is it okay?
So should
Yes.
we change to the other meeting?
Yes. I'm going to
Okay,
stop
we can do
it.
that.
So, I'm going to jump into the second step quantum days. You come into the Izmir Institute of the Technology and give a speech, get to the conference, and I wonder something about the second step quantum days. What was your idea about the Turkey is one of the greatest and biggest event for the quantum science and technology? This was a two amazing days for me and for the other people too, and I'm wondering your thoughts too.
So I really appreciated how dedicated the students were. It was, as I understood, it was a student organized event and it was really perfectly organized. So congratulations to that. There was nothing missing. There was food, there was discussions, and I really was surprised in a positive way how dedicated all the people were which came. I remember some questions which were really prepared well in advance. Not only I come, listen to the talk, and then ask a question, but people really like read some papers in before and were like asking questions to that. That was impressive. So scientifically, it was a really great meeting. Also, because not only I was there, it sounds like I'm making a great meeting, but I feel like many people from the Quanto project came. I remember that the people from Madrid came. Carlos came from Madrid. This was great. I remember Mio coming from Leiden, and also we had someone from Edinburgh coming. So it was a really great international meeting. This is how a conference is supposed to be, and I think giving different views and having great talks in all of that. And um, that's what makes the meeting great. But what also makes the meeting great is that people are heartfelt and interested. I already complimented on that. This was like people were engaging in discussions. It was lively. It was fun. So I had a very positive impression overall.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your positive thoughts about that. Yes, there are lots of friends of me, there are lots of colleagues of me that they are really working and that they're working really dedicatively, we can say it.
Yes.
And our contributors, our supporters, they are, how can I say, they are created the days, we can say, two amazing days. How can I say, we passed the two amazing days and it was really collaboratively work, we can say. And I want to thank for all
Yes.
of the supporters, all of the contributors. Firstly, Serkan Ateş and the Yusuf Karla and the Meta Tutre. They really contributed to the days happen, to the days come to happen. We can say that. And the contributors, the German Physical Society, and the other institute. I can't say the institute's name. Can you please say it?
Which institute's name? You mean
Uh,
for the Quantum project?
yes, contra projects. There is some sponsorships.
Yes,
I
that's
can't say it.
so apart from the German Physical Society, it's
Uh-huh.
the Wilhelm and Ilse Heraeus Foundation.
Yes,
That
very
so
thank you for these two.
yes.
They're kind of really, how can I say, big project, big seminar and conference. And thanks for our colleagues, the Quantum Stick Society, and all the people who contributed the 2 amazing days. So
I
the
can just join this thank you. I mean, this is I can just join in thank yous and just said to everybody. I fully I support that.
thank you. So the last question of mine, there are two surprise questions. Do
Hmm.
you have any recommendation for the students who wants to study and do research in quantum physics? I'm saying that for me too, because I want to do research into the general relativity and the quantum gravity, but you know, the quantum physics contains all of the era, all of the deepest and diverse era, we can say. And do you have any kind of individual thoughts? Can you share us?
It's always like I feel career paths are very, very unique. And I think the main recommendation is always follow what you're interested in. That sounds a bit like generic to say so, but there's a lot of truth to it. If you like look into something, what you're interested, you most likely will excel. And this is what you want to do. You want to become good in what you do. And the best prerequisite for that is something that you do something that you're interested in, that you like, that you want to invest time, not that someone forces you to invest time or that you see a higher goal of more money or more whatever or better position. Uh, this might work on the short term, but for the long term, the motivation you need to do to the motivation when you want to do physics must come from inside you. So that's like, where is the reset question, which like tingles you, which says like, oh, this is interesting to me. I want to know more about this or that. And this is how like my journey was for me herself. And I think the second question, the second aspect, which is a little bit overlooked, I also always like to work with nice people. So if you kind of make a decision and you have two subjects which are interesting, sometimes for me the decision was, well, where do I feel more comfortable with the people? Where I think like I connect better. Maybe we speak the same language in terms of physics as well. They communicate better with me. It's not a very how to say precise argument you can do, but it might be worse to follow just your gut feeling.
Yes, I'm supporting your thoughts. And I want to add something. Firstly, you said that you have to be interested in what you are doing, what you are seeing, what you're learning. This is not about the popularity because we know some kind of a people or how can I say, some societies, they're just interested into the quantum physics era. Maybe we can say that for the quantum optics, we can say that for the quantum gravity, this is just for the quantum, how can I say, this is just for the popularity, but the story is not about the popularity. We can't just continue in that kind of a way. That's a kind of
I see where you're heading, and it says like, do you follow like everybody else? They say it's interesting, but you have to decide: do I agree with these people on saying this is interesting? But maybe you say this is not for me. It's nothing wrong with agreeing with the majority and saying like we like quantum gravity or we like quantum technologies. But you should reflect for yourself: do I actually agree on that from inside of me, or do I agree with that because everybody is saying it?
yes. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. So my question were done, and we have a two question from our audience. We can say it. We take this from the Instagram account of ours. So the first question is that they're very imaginative questions.
Mhm.
Where do you place artificial intelligence, AI, in physics? And this is continue. Do you think AI will be vital parts for research, or it will be a tool for cumbersome things such as the literature search? What do you think?
Oh, I think that's a very relevant question for research at
Yes.
the moment because we have all the AI tools coming up,
Hmm.
and I mean, the worst scenarios will make ourselves unnecessary anymore. I don't think this is gonna happen because um, we need to think about what is physics doing physics about. Physics is about understanding what's happening around us. We can use AI to help us understanding that, but the questions we pose, I think they will still come from humans. Which parts do we want to understand? Well, do we want to go deeper? I don't see AI developing research questions in a sound and meaningful way yet. You never know what's going to happen in 5 years. So it's going to be a tool, and actually, we're using tools like AI for quantum physics as well, because we need to do simulations. AI can help not only to write the code, but if we think about how can we do an optimal quantum simulation or how can we do an optimal quantum process, we can use AI to help us optimize that. That's very useful. So I feel AI will become a partner in working on that. And the question will be how large of a partner it's going to be.
Yes. Thank you for the response. And the second question, I was wondering that, but I couldn't ask. Some people write that, and I write it on the paper. So, what drove you to into the physics? How did you build your life around this plan, and what
Mhm.
challenges did you encounter?
So it is hard to say what drove me into physics. This is goes like people sometimes say, I was always wanted to know physics when I was a kid. I didn't know that I wanted to do physics when I was like a teenager. I really didn't know that. But in school, I always was very good in math and physics. That's something which was more natural to me than, for example, languages. It was just something I felt that's interesting to me. And I also felt that it was challenging to me. I really like to say, like, oh, there's a problem I want to think about. And it's complex to understand. And this is like, oh yeah, I want to do something which is challenging me, which keeps me thinking. And then I ended up in physics. And of course, if you do physics, well, that I would say studies were so and so. I mean, I was doing well in studies, so there were a couple of hurdles, but nothing major. I feel where it becomes challenging is when you go into the academic career. That doesn't mean like you can also go do physics outside academia, but if you want to stay in the universities, in Germany, that's a very competitive system. And sometimes competitors are not always like really fair and nice, and you really have to see how you make your standing. And this is very exhausting sometimes. And then you need to be persistent. That's a very important skill. You don't need to back down. You need to really think, what can I achieve? What are realistic things? And just go one step after the next.
This is a kind of how can I say? It's a really interesting response, but at the same time, for how can I say for the challenges, it's a little bit upsetting. We
Mhm.
can say the competitive era. It's a little
Yes,
bit
it
upsetting because in the Turkey it is like that,
yes,
and we
it,
just
it
get
is a bit
exhausted. Yes.
It is true. That's it's but it can happen to like every area of your
Mm,
life. There will be setbacks, and at some point in your life, it's very important to learn how to deal with setbacks.
mm,
This is something for some people it occurs earlier in life, for some people it occurs later in life, and there might be personal setbacks, there might be professional setbacks. It will happen, and I think like growing as a person means you're going to learn how to deal with setbacks, and this is okay. This is something which makes us like become a better humans or better persons as like we deal with that in a good way,
mm.
and this is part of growing up. We might say like in Germany you're a grown up on paper when you're 18, but I feel living life is a lifelong term learning, not only like physics learning but also like personality learning.
Yes. At every obstacles, at every challenges, we are growing up. As I said, we are improving ourselves, and I hope it'll be a really good road for every person.
Yes, this is exactly what I hope. I mean, I wish in particular people are going to have a positive experience when they do physics. But of course, there are also setbacks in physics. Your equation doesn't show what you wanted to show, the computer program doesn't work, the lab things are broken, or the lab experiments are different. But then there's a possibility for growth. Or there's a new something which comes up of you, and maybe you think that's too much of it, but then you face a challenge and you master it. A big example is going abroad. It sounds scary to many people. I have to say it was a bit scary to myself. But when you come back, you say like, I'm proud of I do. It's the same with the Contour project. Maybe we were a bit naive when we thought like, oh yeah, that's gonna be working out anyways. We don't see all the challenges, but like after you did something really new and really challenging, you can really be proud on yourself. Like I did that, and I accomplished something.
This is kind of really satisfying response for me, and I hope for the other people's too. So Doris, very, very much for coming in here to having a speech with me. It's a really big privilege to sit in front of you, to having a speech with you. I hope the other people, the audience, will like this. I hope and I believe they're like.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great pleasure talking with you too. It was a very pleasant conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you're going to see each other soon.
That would be great. I hope to see you soon.